All right,
Okay.
should we clap
Push
for
the
Troh?
button.
Everyone clap for Troh.
All right, we're
We
gonna sync
don't
it. No, we're gonna
count
sync it. We're gonna sync it. Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh my god.
I bet you that
Sorry, I
was
went too
in sync
soon.
on all our recordings because like the delay. I bet you it was
That's not-
perfect.
Sure.
I gotta be honest. When I first hopped in this call, I completely forgot that G was British. So I heard, I was like, "Is she doing a bit?" What is that? I was like, I can't remember if this, because I know that.
It must be like, oh, she's so obnoxious. Oh
No,
my
no.
gosh.
She's
Because
been
I
doing
just-
this the entire time, Jimmy. She won't
Yeah.
stop.
No, because I just talked to Bolton the other day, and like I associated Bolton, Jagex. He had an American accent, and I was just like, I completely disassociated British accents from Jagex in my head. Like just the fact that Jagex was over there and not over here, and so I jumped in here and I was shocked. I was shell shocked for a second. I was like, wait a second, I gotta
LOL
reevaluate what's about to
jokes.
happen.
What
Yeah.
kind of
This is how I speak.
what kind? That's not bad.
Thank you.
Bad. What kind of accent do you have?
So I have like wait, are we like starting now?
Yeah,
Is this
sure.
it? Is this
Yeah.
it? Sweet.
We just roll
I
into
have
it.
like
We well, I will say we have no script. We just we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
That was a
Okay,
good.
sweet.
The hand motion was on point. Yeah.
Thank you. I have an amalgamation accent. I grew up really, really, really posh. So my sort of like my baseline accent is like incredibly posh, like very posh British. However, I live with like pretty much all international people. Like I've always worked with international people, and I now have this kind of like weird amalgamation accent, which is like not as posh as it used to be, still kind of posh, but when foreign people meet me, they think I'm Australian.
Okay, I could actually kind of hear that because you have some like some of your R's are the. Do you live with Aussies or?
Nope. No, like Spanish, American,
I could hear
Mancunian, that counts.
I could hear it in your R's because they're not always posh R's.
Those are proper R's, darling. Those are, you know,
Yeah.
properly pronounced.
Yeah.
Wait, so what is posh then? I don't know the names for all
okay.
these things.
So posh would be as close to the Queen's English as
Okay.
one may come. So I did go to a boarding school growing up, and this was very much the affectation that people would take on. Rah, darling. I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok, but all these like posh girls on TikTok are like, rah, what is that garage? That's dirty. That's a posh
Okay,
accent.
I understand.
Oh. What's like the really I don't want to say fucky accent.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking.
Fucky.
Just that real like I feel like it's the
bruv.
kind of like that, but even worse. Like that's like it's like I don't know where it's from. It's like
the one where it's like Tuesday.
kind of, yeah. Maybe that's what I'm
Tuesday.
thinking. Tuesday, yeah.
I thought we was recording on a Tuesday.
Dude, that's like I don't think that's even what I was thinking of.
offended.
I don't know. But that's the Rakesy voice is what you're
No,
doing right now.
Rakesy a very specific. Rakesy's kind of like that, but Rakesy is like very specific accent. Do you know who Rakesy is, G?
No, this is.
He's a
sorry,
RuneScape content
Rakesy.
creator. He sounds amazing.
Sorry, Rixie.
His accent just brings me joy. I
Is it like a British, sort of like a Cockney British? Or is it like an
nope.
Essexy
It's
British?
like some British country something.
Oh.
He'll say things like
okay.
furry free.
Oh, he's like a farmer.
I don't know.
Is that a farmer thing?
I don't
That's
know,
how you
but
know?
I love it.
If
It's
TH
like
is an F,
Somerset.
actually, yes, it might be. It might be.
Like
my
West
God.
Country.
I think it
Something
is.
like that. You know what's the craziest thing to me is like in England, you drive like 20 miles and people speak completely differently. And in America, you drive like 200 miles
Yeah.
and people just speak the exact same.
if you drive-
and maybe someone says soda and someone says pop and that's it.
Yeah, in Texas,
Yeah.
you'd have to drive a lot farther than 200 miles even to get a pop out of somebody. It's, yeah.
Yeah, people don't say pop here, do they?
Nope.
It's like a. Where do people
It's
say
soda.
that?
North and northeast.
Michigan,
Okay.
for example.
They're
Well, that
wrong.
is where my housemate is from, and she says pop.
Yep. Does she
It's
have
soda.
Can
It's-
you tell that she has an accent, or does she?
Like, genuinely, of all of the people that I've met from California, she sounds the same as them to me, except for when she says like some words,
Okay.
like pop.
Yeah, it's like the A sound, pap or something.
Pop,
Kind of like the
pop.
northeastern.
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
think
I would never have guessed.
Michigan. They don't have like that fucky. I keep
No,
calling
it's
accents
not.
fucky.
It's not.
It's not like the
They're
Wisconsin
not Boston.
thing.
They're not Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're
It's
just
but it's like
people.
light. They're
It's
they're
light.
just people.
Okay, they're just people being people over there.
People chilling out.
Yeah.
Okay, but before we get too far into just chilling, G, you I guess we'll kind of introduce you a little bit.
Your viewership's gonna be like, who is this?
You
What is she doing?
and correct me if I'm wrong. You were were you a character artist, or a concept
Yes.
artist,
Well,
or
if
a
you want, do you want my
general-
job title?
Yeah, sure. What did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do at Jagex, and then what do you do now at Fall Guy Extravaganza Game Studio?
Nice. So at Jagex, I was a junior character artist for 2.5 years.
Okay.
But that was like a very general role, so I did lots and lots of things. But now I am a specialist character artist at Mediatonic, which is Full Guys Extravaganza Studio, as you put it.
Yeah, and you're working in Unity and what else? Is it just Unity?
So now I'm working in ZBrush. The game is in Unity, but I work in like ZBrush, Maya, and Substance Painter, which is sort of like the trio of
Okay.
up-to-date products that aren't Jagged, which is what I was using at Jagex.
It's called Jagged.
It's called Jagged, yeah, the 3D software that we used at Jagex.
Nice. Cool. I never learned that. I mean, I just assumed they had their own, little some going on, but and you
It's a thing.
did you do 3D models and stuff as well in Jagged?
Or I can just go through like what I did at Jagex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that'd be great.
Like jump in at any point because
Mod G content tier list is starting on screen,
Yeah.
Troh. Start it up.
Yeah, and I will preface this by saying you created some of my favorite, I think, some of my favorite models and characters in the game.
He's talking
we
about
can
the women.
check.
Yeah, well, okay. And didn't you do drakes and sulfur lizards as well?
I did not do the drakes. I did do the sulfur
Lizards, yeah. I like those little squirmy guys. Pretty
That's the first thing I ever made at
Really?
Jagex.
The little.
I
Yeah,
remember
gecko
when
guys.
you made those because we talked about those things on the podcast. On
Hey!
Not on this one. It was a different one. It was
Oh, that's
me,
cute.
Settled, and Framed talking about that because it was your first. It was like your debut. So everyone saw you
yeah.
join Jagex. They saw who you were and they saw your face, and then you posted this lizard, and people fucking went wild. It was like that meme where everyone was like watching the big screen in the bar. And then everyone saw the lizard pop up, and they went
They're just
fucking
like, yeah.
insane berserk. Yeah, and it was like, you're
funny.
here, you're making shit
The
for Jagex
lizard.
now. The lizard guy came out. Yeah, I remember that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that was the
I'm
first
still
one.
proud of that guy. Yeah, that was the first one.
What's
I
the-
think
what was
about
the next
that
one?
lizard every once in a while.
Oh, so the next one was Lord Troban Archaeus,
Okay, cool.
who is the elder of the Archaeus house for the I can't remember exactly what it's like a mini quest where he's like being put into like a trance and you have to go and save him. And then that sort of brings me on to the end of the quest where you meet my third ever character I made, who was Konar.
God bless. Good
bless.
work. Good work,
Made
G.
Konar?
Yeah.
Man,
My
I'm trying
third character.
I'm trying to paste this into our chat so that Troh just
Are you
has
doing a
it.
tier list?
Yeah, it would make a tier
the-
list.
If Troh doesn't edit like a tier list,
Yeah,
come on, Troh, throw it up.
Konar.
I mean, there's a good chance we could have each of us in a quadrant and then the tier list in one quadrant. And then every once in a while,
We have to go through.
we'll just cut to Troh doing his patented look at the screen and shake his head. He does that every once in a while. He's so Troh's our throw guy on the podcast, and everybody likes him more than Jimmy and I.
Yeah.
After 2
I love
episodes.
Troh. Yeah, I've seen the podcast. Troh's great.
I know. And the dumb part about it is they're right. He's the best part about the podcast.
the best part.
It wouldn't be if everyone was just saying Troh's our favorite and they're like, ha ha, yeah, it's all funny. We like Troh, but it's actually true. So that's,
Yeah.
This
This is Troh's
This man,
podcast now.
Yeah.
This is, yeah.
Welcome to Troh's podcast, G.
We give him all the content and he just makes it. He
Yeah.
just makes his podcast.
Yeah.
He posts it. And he
So,
looks at the
okay,
comments.
we let's keep trucking on this G tier list.
Oh, I came up with a
okay.
question real quick. Because it made me think about this because Nine Rain, of course, said thank you as soon as you mentioned Konar. And I was like, why did he say that? And then I looked up Konar and it got me wondering, have you had a character that you've made been turned into some Rule 34 bullshit on Reddit or something that you had to see your character drawn in the most lewd way where you're like, wow, I never thought I'd see something I created drawn in that way. Did that ever happen to you?
So was the question has that ever happened to you, or was that ever your goal?
Was that
Yes.
ever your goal? And also, did that happen to you? Did that happen to you? And then was that always your goal from now on? Which one?
Yeah, I have a folder
No way.
The G Rule 34 folder.
of all of the characters that so Konar, for example, obviously the Khalith was a race that was designed by Mod Ghost, very good work. And then he sort of gave me quite free reign within the Khalith to create the Slayer Master. And so I drew her essentially and designed her and was okay, she's gonna be a bit well traveled than the rest of this race. She's gonna be kind of have this matriarchal thing, but also she's a Slayer Master, so she's badass warrior. You've got the balance in there. All of my characters, I think super hard about the background and who they are enforces how they look and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also I wanted her to look I just wanted her to look cute and hot.
Nice.
But luckily it fit. So so I designed how she was gonna look. I drew her, I modeled her, I animated her. So I also implemented her. So start to finish, that's kind of what I would do at Jagex. I would just do everything.
Wow.
Which was really, really fun. And then obviously people kind of loved her, and yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff pop up.
Did they?
Yeah. I have a folder which is a fan art folder, which is every time I see a piece of fan art of one of my own characters, I just shove it in the folder. And the Konar section is huge.
Yeah.
It's so big. Anyone watching this who has ever done a piece of fan art of Konar, it's in the folder. I've not missed one. It's all in there. Even the Rule 34 shit, it's all in there.
That's great.
That's good stuff.
I guess I'll send you mine then, because I haven't posted it anywhere. I just
Ooh.
Your Rule 34
For my
stuff?
private collection.
Is that a Budweiser?
Yeah,
That's a-
sorry. It's
That's a can and a half.
I just finished work. It's Friday.
Yeah.
I know, because it's that way I don't have to go and get another one.
Now, is that a warm beer?
It's the size of my head. No, it's cold. I got it from the fridge.
Okay, God bless, because some of you
That would
people.
suck, okay?
When I was
she just grabbed it from under her desk,
no. That's the
non-refrigerated
thing.
out of the box.
Here's one.
You guys-
Here's one I had sitting next to me.
you guys
Yeah.
drink warm beer in some places, right? Is that,
What?
What the fuck?
or at least
Where have you heard this?
when I went to Europe, they were just serving warm beer everywhere. I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah, where did you
was in-
go?
Everywhere.
I was in Germany, and then when I was at E3, which was also in Germany.
They weren't serving warm beer.
Yeah, it
in
was all
Germany.
like lukewarm beer. That's like a thing. Am I crazy?
They just knew that you were
Oh, it depends
American.
what kind of beer you were drinking.
Okay. Yeah, because light
I
beer,
think.
light beer warm would just
There's
be.
some beers that am I wrong about this? I mean, just sometimes when like you go places, like it's just not very well refrigerated. But,
Okay,
like,
but-
I mean, as a European, I would drink warm beer, and like it tends to be quite cheap as well, so you can't really complain.
Okay. Because I'll drink a warm beer, but not because like it was supposed to be warm, but because it was like, oops, we ran out of ice kind of thing. But yeah,
I'm trying to think. Like an amber beer, I don't think you drink cold. If you would, if you were
I
in
do.
Germany and you were drinking like amber beer out of like a stein.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
shit.
well, I was at E3, which way cooler than in America. We were in the business section, so at 6 or 6:30, whenever it closed,
So jealous.
they immediately started distributing alcohol at all the booths because we were in like the international section. So you could basically go to the French booth and to the UK booth and to the German booth and just go to the different countries and get their free alcohol. It was awesome.
Nice.
It was awesome.
Free.
That's so good.
It was all in the name of like business development. So you're like, yeah, this is great. So
E3.
it was E3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Business
mean, all of these
development?
games conventions, all of these games conventions are basically just like, I feel like they're like an elaborate excuse for like a piss up.
Yep. Well, at
I have
least
yet to be to like, I really want to go to like E3 at some point, and I felt like 2020 was maybe my year.
oops.
No.
Yeah, bad call, G.
Like GDC too.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Do they have a GDC in Europe, or is it just the one in?
I don't think they do. No, because we all go there. We all go to.
Okay,
Where
Is
is
it
it? Like LA, California.
it's in California.
It's in
I don't
California.
think it's LA. It might be.
No,
up
maybe
north
like San Jose or something. I don't know. No.
I don't know. One of the
I don't
sands.
know.
One of the sands, probably. It's a good
One of the
guess.
sands.
It's either because then you got San Fran, San Diego, and San Jose. It's probably San Fran.
We're gonna start playing GeoGuessr. I fucking rate that game.
Despite the fact that I've been a lot of places, I've watched people play GeoGuessr and I got nothing.
even know what that
I have no
is.
game when it comes to that.
You ever see that guy play GeoGuessr that also does those like straight line challenges?
Yes, I know. Yes, I know who you're talking
is
about.
this?
Is it like
is
GeoWizard or something? I got
He
recommended.
just started a new straight line challenge. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I have seen some of his like
Is it, like,
YouTube videos
Sweden or
though.
something?
He's crazy.
Scotland? He's crazy.
That dude's insane.
Jimmy, there's this guy that like, but basically, first of all, GeoGuessr is a game where like it's basically Google Maps or whatever, and it drops you Street View in a random location. You have to guess where you are, and like it's really hard because it like blocks out all signs and everything. But this guy is so good. He just like looks at the markings on the road and he's like, "Well, I know we're in Bavaria somewhere," and you're like,
Yeah,
what?
well, and he does different challenges too, where sometimes he won't move the camera; it's just a single frame, or sometimes he doesn't like. You're not allowed to walk and move the map anywhere, so he does like different challenges.
He's a snowflake GeoGuessr.
Yes,
Dude, that's pretty
He's
cool.
so good.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
it's
insane.
pretty great.
That's good stuff.
And he does this thing where he like picks countries and walks across them in a straight line, as in a straight line.
So he knew he was in Germany
I can't
once.
explain it. You just have to watch it.
Yeah, is it GeoWizard or something like that? G, do you know?
Oh, so his whole persona is like around this then.
Well, yeah, he
Like
has like a YouTube channel.
GeoWizard.
He's like an
I think he
adventurer,
streams.
kind of.
Okay. All right.
It was pretty cool.
Nice. So
I
like he
think-
looked over and he saw on the table somewhere. He was like, "Yeah, that beer looks warm. We're in
Yeah,
Germany."
That's a warm beer. We're
That's how he
definitely
fucking
at
guessed that.
We're definitely at 6:30. It's E3 in Cologne right now. And you're like,
There
whoa,
we
this guy's
are.
good. He's so good. He gets the time.
All right. Well, it's time to loop back. We're looping back.
Loop back.
Tier list, baby. Let's
After
go.
Konar, what was next? What was next for the folder?
It starts to blur together after that because those were like my first three, and I did them all like before Christmas. Mm-hmm. So when I got back from Christmas, so that was 2018. So now 2019, I pretty much straight away started working on the Song of the Elves update.
Right, which was probably
we can
like
talk
1,000
about.
different things.
If you want.
Yeah, sure. Let's go there. What? Because did you create? I mean, there's a lot of new models for that.
There's like, okay, so like think of all of the elves in Song of the Elves.
Mm-hmm.
I made them all.
All of them?
Every single one.
Every single one.
Yeah. I have a couple favorites, but yeah, there's some good elves in there, you know.
I know there's a lot of bad elves in there, and people hated me so much.
Oh,
like,
really?
Like honestly, like genuinely, I developed a very healthy fear of the community, and it was due to like the reaction from that release, and it was so gutting to me because it was like 6 months of my life that I had spent.
I remember
like, designing all of these elves, and like I like worked so hard and I was so happy with my work, and then it got released and I just got fucking like
You got to feel the wrath of the old school. Yeah.
overnight.
Yeah,
and it was like
fucked.
oh god, it was like a car crash. Like, you know, like how when something like that's happening, like you really shouldn't look at Twitter, but I was
Yes.
up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
like looking at my Twitter like, oh cool, like
I
another
remember people
person
lost
wants me to get cancer and
people
die.
lost
Like,
their
cool.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh
So that was
man, that was not good for me.
19 released.
Did you do?
So
I think the most iconic one, G, was the Elena chat head. Did you do that?
I did do that. I did do that. It was misguided. It was a mistake. It was not a good idea.
Did you do the actual chat head?
Yes.
Hell yeah, G.
well, so here's
did
the
it.
I actually
thing.
liked it. What I was actually pretty, and I'm usually not part of the, how should I put it?
The new school.
I usually differ with most people's opinions on releases of content like that, because I've
A contrarian.
Well, part of it is I've worked for 2 different game studios, and so I understand that there's like that people are just creating a game, and who the fuck cares what an Elena chat head looks like? I could not believe I made a video actually, and then just didn't post it, just railing the community for their like childlike behavior over something so small. I could not believe it. I don't even remember what the old one looked like, what the new one looked like, what the modified, and I didn't care. I was just so.
If you made a video about everything that was at the same scale of big deal to this community, it would be a fucking list from the ceiling to the floor.
You have a whole channel.
There are 3 videos that I made directed towards probably like Reddit guy that I was just fucking mad, and then I went back and I knew better than to upload it immediately, and I went back and watched it later and was like, is that helpful? Probably not, but it felt good to record. So I just I
It's
didn't.
like the equivalent of like typing out a tweet and then deleting
Right,
it. Like
they exist. Those videos exist on my hard drive, but I don't go anywhere. And so, anyways, you did this Song of the Elves update and the Elena chat heads, just nightmarish.
the Elena chat head stole the show, right? Because like obviously I'm just gonna get a little bit technical here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna explain a little bit about when I joined Jagex, one of the things I had to learn how to make was a chat head, right? And chat heads are very, very, very hard to make because people are very picky about them. They have the weirdest topology, and our topology is, of course, like how the polygons lie. I think a lot of people who watch are going to understand that, but for the people who don't, models are made up of essentially squares that are cut into triangles, and that makes up the model. And the topology is the way that those squares flow through the model, and it creates a shape in 3 dimensions. So the way the topology lies on the chat heads is nightmarish.
What are you talking about, G? RuneScape chat heads look incredible. They're so good.
I'm not talking about like how they look, like how you see them in game, but like how I see them in my 3D software with all of those
I bet they're
fucking
beautiful
lines highlighted.
little babies, and they work perfectly and are easy to animate. What are you talking about?
No, it's horrible. It's nightmarish, and it's like the probably the one thing that I came in and I was like, I think I'm gonna have like some kind of aneurysm if I look at these for too long. And so I recreated my own that would work with all of like the animations that previously existed, which is very important because obviously all of those animations, and I created this chat head that was like clean topology, followed all of like the artistic principles that I'd learned at university. And like, to me,
you put artistic principles in our RuneScape, you monster.
This was my first mistake.
See, you made the mistake of making something that looks good. We want something that looks terrible, right?
I forgot to put it through the shit mill. Yeah. But like I shared it with the team and people were going like, you know, it's not like I know I made it. It's like we're a whole team, right? It's not a one woman show. I was a junior as well. There's a million checks before it goes into the game. So just to defend myself slightly, I made it, yes. It's not just my fault.
Here, Troh, cut the second part where she says it's not just her fault.
Yeah.
Just to defend myself slightly, I made it. It is my fault. It's 100% my fault. It works for the newer characters because people don't know the newer characters. And like, it looked really cool for the newer characters. And I ended up not changing the newer characters. Like, for example, I made like 8 house leaders, all of which were like completely uniquely designed. I like had like a backstory for all of them. Like, I'm so happy with that. Lady Heffin is probably my favorite character I've ever designed.
Which one was she?
Lady Heffin. Also Lady Mylia. Lady Heffin is the one who her house is prayer and agility. So like they were like, oh, just do like a priestess, right? Just do like a priestess character. And I was like, prayer and agility to me is like a monk.
Oh, so yeah, I created she's
this
cool.
like monk character. I was so happy with her. I thought she looked really cool.
You have to get to her in the swamp.
Yeah, you have to go find her.
I remember I did a bit in one of my videos with Lady Heffin. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. I like her. She's cool. The like blind monk lady.
Yes, with the blindfold. Yeah, because I gave her the blindfold because it's like that's the prayer aspect coming in. So she's like guided by spirituality, whatever you want.
Cool. And did you create? There's some old dude who's like the old ruler or something.
Backstorian.
Is it Backstorian? It's Backstorian. Did you do Backstorian?
I created
as well?
Backstorian. Yeah.
He was cool.
Yep. I did them all.
Cool. I gave Backstorian a Sean Connery voice. He kind of had that vibe.
Hey. He's kind of chubby too.
He was cool.
Eating pies in his exile.
Yeah, he's been chilling. He's been drinking too much tea, eating too many crackers.
So
he's got Iroh energy.
Yeah.
This is I was wondering this because like coming back to this like the chat head thing and like the reaction that you saw. Had you played RuneScape at all prior? Because I know we haven't asked you about your like history or anything with RuneScape, but have you played prior? Like, did you play back in the day, or had you already like been playing old school, or how did you come into this game?
Yeah, and on top of that, how did you get hooked up with Jagex in the first place?
So I played as a kid. I played because my cousin played. He played like a lot. And this must be even like maybe before 2007. I was young. Yeah, it was. I played a bit, but I was like a World of Warcraft kid. So when I was sort of like 10 to 13, I was mainly playing WoW. And so when I played RuneScape, I was like, this isn't WoW.
Yeah, I wanted to be a WoW kid, but my parents wouldn't pay for membership, so I was
Same.
a RuneScape kid.
Same.
My dad had WoW,
Okay.
so I just used his account. But I had like my own character.
He was probably so happy that his daughter wanted to play the game that he liked. I mean, now imagine what it would be like being a dad. I'd be like, if that would be so dope. If your daughter was like, I
Someone
want to play
WoW,
old school. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I played WoW, and then when I was applying for the job, like as in I'd like put in my application, then I played. And did I get further than killing cows and selling their hides? No. But I got the job.
That's
Right.
like the core experience though, so
So this like reaction thing, you got to see very quickly that this community
What
has
people care about.
a lot of layers to it. Like this about what they care about. It's very different from what most game communities care about. Like there's that whole like don't mess with our stuff, don't touch our stuff kind of thing. Yeah. Like that. I mean, I not to go in another tangent, but I was literally talking about that today on Twitter, because was it Mod Jippy? Is that
Flippy?
Flippy Jippy?
Jippy. You're watching too many General Sam videos.
Yeah,
That
I
is-
always see Jippy pop up, and I was
Yeah.
like, Jippy, Flippy? Yeah, Flippy. Yeah.
That's like kind of an offensive thing to say in England. Like you
What?
can't really say that.
Oh,
Jippy?
what does that what
Yeah,
does that
you
mean?
can't really say that.
It's like the
like,
C word in Australia versus here. I have to say the C word. But Jippy?
It's like an abbreviation of like a slur for traveling folk.
Oh,
I'll
it's
fucking
short
yell
for
Jippy out my
gypsy?
window and no one will care.
Oh,
I don't.
Yeah, that's what we. I've never heard the word before, other than it being
Yeah, I didn't either.
General Sam's like music guy is named Jippy, which
If
I'm not
someone
even
was
sure
called
he.
Mod Jippy.
I'm not even sure he knows. Yo, Twitter would be pretty mad about a mod Jippy. I don't think that'd be cool.
I don't think that'd be cool.
I actually
Anyway, I was talking to him today. I was talking to Mod Jippy about the nostalgia thing.
yeah.
And he was just saying like there's he put a poll. He loves poll. All of them love polling things.
Oh, I know what
He
I know
put a
what you're talking
poll about like nostalgia and like how power creep versus nostalgia type thing. And I was like, look, man, nostalgia was gone a long time ago in this game. Like we have the graphics, and that's truly about it now.
And the music, graphics, and the music.
The
That's about
graphics
it.
and the music. That's it. What people that are arguing for nostalgia are not active players, is what I was getting at. Like they could be,
Right.
but what the fuck are they doing? Who's really, truly caring about like actual nostalgia with this game? Because that's so far gone, that 8+ years ago, that that mattered. I don't know. But it is still like when it comes to changing old things in terms of like graphics, because that is one of the things that we still do have that is old school. I think people get really sensitive about it. And I think that's what you had to experience with like the chat head, because you're like, oh, it's one of like the oldest NPCs like in the game that's always been this way, and now it looks like this, and that's different in so many ways. I'm gonna yell on every platform I can right now, and that happened. So I could definitely see that being absolutely terrifying as an artist for old school, being like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? Who are these people? That is terrifying. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, like I knew what I was getting myself into. Like I did my research. Like I kind of knew it. Like I locked down all of my social media accounts before I made my Twitter account. Like I have kept like, I feel like I've kept like my name and most of like who I am personally like very, very, very quiet while I was working there. Because like, I mean, when you start at that company, some people give you warnings and they're like, you want to be a bit careful. And that's like, was kind of real. And I was like, oh shit. So I knew what I was getting myself into. With regards to the chat heads, that was a mistake. Like I should not have done that, straight up. That being said, Elena's original chat head is one of the ugliest chat heads I've ever fucking seen.
Thank you.
True.
It's so
And-
bad.
I felt so compelled to change it that I just changed it. And like it got past all of the checks and balances, like it got through, people raged. And I think this is something that probably not many people know. But I was up until 4 a.m. looking at my Twitter, obviously, because I was like, oh, cool, so many people wish that I would die today. And then, so like I was literally up till 4. I got up at 6. I came into the office for 7. And because I knew that we had like a decompressed meeting at 9, which is when you're supposed to start. And I worked from 7 until 9, making a compromise chat head. Like, i.e. something that wasn't a rollback and something that wasn't the chat head that was in the game. And like, I had like literally taken screenshots of every piece of constructive feedback that I received. I put them into a document and I made a chat head that hit all of the points that they wanted, but wasn't the ugliest fucking chat head I've ever fucking seen. And so when I went into that meeting, I was at 9, I was able to pitch it and go, hey, look at this. Like, we could do this instead of a rollback. And then we did like the emergency poll that day. And from the 3 options on the emergency poll, my compromise, which is the middle one, won. So that's the one that's in the game now.
Nice.
So she's not fucking ugly.
Nice.
I'm surprised that whole thing that you didn't just do like it didn't send you into like a whole full throttle rework of Elena, like her whole avatar, her whole face, everything. Like, you know what? If you guys fucking hate this so much, I'm just gonna redo the whole goddamn character. Like, we need to do something about this.
No, I did change her whole entire character.
The whole thing, like hairstyle, everything like that, and just
yeah, like I don't know if you know, but she's cute.
I think I do remember making jokes about that, like way long ago during a live stream when it first came out.
I made jokes about
Her
that.
model didn't have any complaints, so I was just like, okay,
Do it, yeah.
leave it.
I think the wiki, like the old school wiki, if you click on the picture, they sometimes have the updates. Oh, historical, yeah. And you can see like what their things used to look like. Everything used to look like.
Yeah, that's still there.
Yeah, I think it's somewhat updated. I don't know how they're. Oh, the kidnapped Elena. Did you have to do the kidnapped Elena too at all?
Yes.
Wait, what is yo, Post, what is kidnapped Elena?
She's just like roughed up, like she's a bit muddy.
Yeah.
Just dirty
She's
Elena.
crying. She's got like a sad face.
Wait, I want to see Jimmy post in the call. I want to see
kidnapped
this.
Elena?
Yeah, I want to see.
Yeah.
That's
There's
funny.
kidnapped Elena. Yeah, that's when she's like downstairs in the jail cell, like for, was that Biohazard? Or no, that's just Plague City, isn't it?
No.
Or is that Biohazard? I don't even remember. Whatever one that is.
Kidnapped. Oh yeah, she's wearing like
The gas mask.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, but if you look at the wiki, you can compare how she looks now to the like 2005 version. And like, I'm not gonna say she looks cute, but like, she looks cute.
Definitely upgrade. Definitely a big upgrade.
I know some people don't like it, but that one didn't get me death threats, so it's staying.
Yeah. People aren't gonna like anything. But
I mean,
imagine
if we went from now Elena to the old one. People would lose their shit. Oh my god, that old model. I think to put it nicely, she looks homely. She looks a little homely, a little ragged, and we'll just leave it at that.
I don't want to help that girl that used to be there in 2005.
Like she's kind of love interest, right?
Yeah,
like,
now it's
she
like,
kind of is like a bit of like waifu energy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, she needs to be cute. Like,
yeah.
Didn't she like? I can't remember. I'm trying to think of Song of the Elves of what happened. I just remember she like it leads up. Her dialogue like leads up to make you believe like, oh my god, I'm gonna marry this
They really
NPC.
tease it. They really tease it.
And then she's like, I have to leave.
Yeah,
it's like,
so
oh.
well, you have choices.
Okay.
Yeah, I live streamed when they released that quest, and I just decided to voice act the whole thing like it was an anime. And this was before all the DMCA stuff, so I was pulling up all these anime tracks and really overdoing it. And it was the easiest thing in the world because the dialogue just hands it to you. You're like, oh, we got a love interest. This is awesome. And then there's the whole Elena Elunid thing, and then Ariana wins this little bitch that I can't stand. And so it was perfect. That's that whole like story and quest line. Did you create Arianwen's model as well?
K-drama. Yep.
He's pretty cool.
And Elened. Yep.
Yep.
Elened. She's cute. She's waifu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she does.
All of the elves.
Every elf you know has G's signature on it.
Bam.
Wait,
Stamp of
I
approval.
just thought of this. Did you ever put? You don't have to even say what it is. Is there an Easter egg on any of your characters that you hit anywhere?
Oh, I have loads of Easter eggs in the game.
Really?
You do?
Did I put any in any characters?
What are the Easter eggs?
I don't think I put any like.
Is there
in
any
characters.
unfound Easter eggs that you've done that like no one's ever talked about?
I can't reveal those because like then no one will get the satisfaction of finding
okay,
it.
fair. But what about the revealed ones? Now we need a complete list of everything you've done in the game so we could go check it out.
Easter egg hunting. I'm excited.
I tell you where there's like a lot of Easter eggs, and they might all be found, but I'm not 100% sure. But like the thing that I worked on that got the most Easter eggs in it was the Hallowed Sepulchre, and like that
Okay.
would be hard to find Easter eggs because obviously like it's a speed thing, it's like a timed thing, so like you'd have to do a run where you just like accept all the L's.
Yeah. I really like Hallowed Sepulchre. What all did you do? I mean, how involved with, did you do levels
my
and stuff
gosh.
as well? And so like you're doing pillars and some of the traps and stuff, or?
Yeah, so the Hallowed Sepulchre was like kind of like a three-way love child between me, Mod West, and Mod Husky. And it was the project that we went like working from home on.
Okay.
So like we went from like designing it together in the office to like being from home and trying to do it like still collaboratively, but like
Was that a lot
separately.
worse to work on? I mean, was it just a lot more difficult to work on? However many miles apart?
I don't know if anybody knows like what like my situation was, but I was commuting between an hour and a half and 2 hours one way to work. So like when they were like, oh, we're going from home because of all this COVID stuff, I was like, my commute has gone from like an hour 45 one way to 2 minutes.
That's crazy. That is
I've
such
heard of
a
a
bad
lot of
commute.
like J-mods having
Yeah,
to
it
do
was
huge commutes
terrible.
like that.
I didn't want to move. Like I grew up in Cambridge. Like Cambridge is my hometown. Like I went to boarding school in Cambridge. Like I was not going to go back to Cambridge. Like I live in London. I want to
Okay.
live in London.
Okay. That
That's
makes
like-
sense.
So it was
That'd
just,
be
like
like if I worked in
I had a
San-
super commute.
That's like if I worked in San Antonio. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. That's a
Yeah,
crazy
like
drive.
the next city.
Even when I lived in LA, I was so lucky. I had like a 5-minute commute, which in LA pretty much doesn't exist.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist at
I didn't
all.
ever have to get on the highway. I just drove under one highway.
Yeah, normally in LA, it's like you have an hour and a half one way there, but it's like 5 miles. So
Yep.
it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, this was like I was 3 miles from my work, and it was like 3 stoplights, and I went under one highway, but that was it. It was very nice.
Damn.
I got so lucky.
That is really useful.
So
Yeah.
so going to working
I
from
was
home.
I was essentially I became well rested all of a sudden. Like I think like looking back now, I think that I might have been chronically sleep deprived because I'm a night owl, so I'll stay up until like, I mean 1 doesn't sound crazy, but when you're getting up at like 6
Yeah.
Yeah.
like every day,
Well,
it like adds up.
you messaged me at 4 a.m. when I contacted you about this podcast. You hit me up. It was 10 o'clock my time, and I'm like, did she really just? I think
I
it's,
just was replying.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that's a 6-hour time difference. It's late. Sun's about to come up.
It was Saturday.
Yeah,
No, it was Friday.
Yeah.
Friday night.
Yeah, that's really late for a Friday night too. Even when I was going out and stuff a lot more often, I was probably asleep by 3 almost every night that I went out.
Yeah, well, my girlfriend, she like sourced us like tables, so it's like seated table tickets to like a cabaret. And it was like I a kind of like dress outrageous, like nightclub at your table, like interactive, like,
Outrageous as in like
shows and
really
stuff.
nice or outrageous?
No, like cabaret.
Okay.
Like, yeah, so it's like, it's like a lot of people were wearing not much.
Yeah. There's another
And there was,
folder
like,
on your
fire
desktop
twirling.
for the cabaret pictures.
Cabaret pigs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really fun. And it started at 12. So we went there for 12 and then left at 3, got home for 4.
It's a long night.
That's late.
Replied to my Twitter DMs.
That's late.
Yeah, it was fun though. It felt almost like
Normal?
a normal thing, except they had these security guards, and every time you stood up, the security guards literally came over and they were like, sit down.
What did you have to, like, you just weren't allowed to move around because of social distancing, or?
Well, you could like put your mask on and like go to the bathroom, but like all of the drinks were table service, and like if you tried, and like the music was really loud, like it felt like a club. So if like you stood up and like tried to dance, they would literally come around and be like,
What?
Wow.
what's that? Like, you know, like the sit emote.
Yeah.
Will's-
That's so good. I went out, the earliest I went back out after COVID was like late October. And
Oh, that's early.
yeah, it was early. And it wasn't table service. We had to stay, like, they encouraged everyone to stay seated and stay, like social distanced. And then you had to wear a mask if you were up. But it wasn't like every once in a while, someone would walk around the bar and be like, hey, cops are going to come do a little walkthrough. Everybody sit the fuck down. And, but it was pretty, everyone was pretty chill about it. But that was that was
Yeah.
October of last year. So
That's early.
mm-hmm.
Like I'm pretty sure we were in lockdown in October last year. Or like I went out for like my last meal on the 30th of October.
Your
and then I was in
last
lockdown
meal.
until,
The
like,
last meal.
like
Yeah.
genuine, like I remember I went to Soho Joe's for pizza, and like I think Soho Joe could sense it coming because he gave me and my friends free shots of tequila at 2 p.m.
I remember I was gonna go. It was like, I don't remember if this was, I think sometime in March, maybe early March. I was gonna go on a date up in Dallas, and we had like dinner plans, and then it was like that weekend was the first like COVID's a thing, we're locking down, and then Dallas was the first place to lock down. So yeah, like I think that's about when it started, was like late March for us. I
Yeah.
think like around the 20th.
Yeah, I remember
because
because it was my last year at college, and it was spring break.
Baby.
Yeah, it was spring break, and they extended it. They extended it a week, and we were like, "Fuck yeah!" They extended spring break a week. Like, let's go. And then a pandemic happened. It was like, oh,
Wait,
maybe that wasn't that cool.
G, did you say baby? How old are you, G?
No, I don't think I'm very much older than Jimmy. I think I'm only like I'm 24.
Okay.
So I think I'm maybe only like a year.
I'm
or two.
23.
I can see Jimmy hesitate and think about it.
I was like, how old am I?
You do have to start thinking about it. Like the other day, I told someone I was 23, and then I was like, wait, I just lied. 24.
I think
Yeah, I've had to
been
think about how old I am recently, and it's really weird. I can't
I've been
keep
telling
track
people
anymore.
I'm 30 for like 3 years, and I'm not 30. I just the second
I'm like
the
30.
second
Am I
hit 20
23? Or am I 22?
I
you're 23.
think you're 23, Jimmy.
Dude, I'm freaking out. I don't know how old I am.
I've been there. It was when I was 28. I just could never remember I was 28. I was like, am I 29 or 27? Literally no idea. So I turned 30 this year, though. That's weird.
Congratulations.
Yo, haven't made it
Have
yet.
you watched Bo Burnham's Inside?
That's an old one, right? That's not like a new
No,
special.
it's the new one. The new one.
Then
I
no,
haven't
I
seen
haven't.
it.
Oh, you have to watch it before you turn 30.
Okay.
Then you won't get it.
Is
you
it
won't
because
get
I
it
die when I hit 30, and so that I won't get to watch it, or what?
No, it's just there's a reason. Like you'll
Okay,
watch it
okay.
and you'll be like, oh, okay, this is cute.
Cool. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Okay.
It's a ride.
So let's continue this.
Oh yeah,
After
sorry. I'm like
no, we're here for the tangents.
scatterbrain.
after the whole Song of the Elves thing. That was like 2019, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Was it like
Summer.
okay, so like mid 2019. Then what were you working on? Did you crawl in a hole for a little while and just be like, screw you guys?
Yeah. Cried a lot.
Yeah. There's that picture, the like poster of Elena that's on the table, that like cursed image was like above your bed.
I have like sloped ceilings.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know. So like it would be all distorted for me.
Yeah.
I always get self-conscious about having my bed in my background, but like I live in a fucking attic. I live in a house with there's 8 people
Holy
here
cow.
usually. Like it's like a big fuck off Edwardian house, and we're all artists, so it's very like fun vibes.
8 people?
Yeah.
That's
like the pandemic's been like genuinely fun. I mean, there's 6 people that live here, and then we have like 2 extras in our bubble that are here most of the time.
interesting. Now,
Yeah, it's fun.
do all of you guys work at different studios, or are some of them going to be on your team working on Fall Guys, or?
I think I'm the only one in like full-time employment actually.
Okay.
Because 2 guys here own a company, and they basically make shit for Epic. Like, you know, like, I don't know if anybody would know like the Unreal store. They make stuff for the Unreal like store. And then like there's video editor / director downstairs. There's another guy that works on movies, and so if you watch Cruella, the new movie, he worked on that, and he's like a 3D compositor. He's worked on like everything cool. I think he worked on Star Wars also, which is pretty lit. And then the girl who lives here is doing her master's.
How did you meet a lot of these people? From school?
Yeah, uni. Like we all went to uni together. Like my uni is really tight. Yeah,
Cool.
It's fun. But we're all from like different year groups, so we have like a good like cross section of friendship.
Cool.
Friendship.
Was it was university like super I in at least in the States, or at least I went to Texas A&M, and we have like a really big viz program, so a lot of our the kids that go through that program end up at Disney or Pixar, and those kinds of studios. So like Pixar is like half Aggies.
Nice. I had a dream to go to Cal Arts. That was like the dream.
But yeah,
I would never have gotten in.
A&M's like sneaky, but you would never think that A&M had like a really big viz program. But the point is they had like this 4 years of hell because they just never slept. So then they all became best friends, and just still hang out all the time.
Like...
Was that this?
So in the UK, there's like a couple of schools that do 3D, right? Like think 3D, but also think video games, movies, TV shows, like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's 3D and it's animated, that's the course. There's a couple of schools that do it. At the time that I went to school, I went to the best school in the country, and it was like the same thing. Like literally, like we did not sleep for like 3 years. Like we all lived together.
Yep.
Like everybody was like pulling all-nighters regularly, like sleeping under the desks at the library
Yeah,
to like get shit done.
that sounds like the viz program.
It's the exact same thing. Yeah, like our final year projects were like winning awards like outside of the realm of student films, like genuinely like incredible stuff. Like people make insane stuff from our university. Like it's not funny. But yeah, so we're all just still friends because it's the exact same situation.
Yeah, it's like for a lot of people, it's probably like their army buds that they're like, they went through some hell week, and then they're like basic training with, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna be friends forever because that sucked really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
The same thing, but 3 years.
Yeah. Sweet. So then, yeah, moving forward after.
Go back. Sorry, I'm terrible with tangents. Like my brain is just like a spider web of, like, you might have also noticed, like, it's really fucking hard to pin me down. Like you're sending me messages like, you should be on the podcast, like, do you want to come on the podcast? And I'm just like, just ghost that
Believe
one.
me, you're easy.
Maybe reply to that one.
You're easier to get in touch with than Jimmy, and he. So
Yes.
I'm not a problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm very scatterbrained.
So wait. Speaking of hard to pin you down, you do. This is just the most surprising thing. I know. Sorry, tangent. This was the most surprising.
That sounded really funny. Like I don't know.
Okay. Let me just restart. The most surprising thing to me was when I saw some random video on Twitter of you roller skating. And not just like I roller skate, it's kind of cool, but you were actually like doing tricks and stuff and skating around in like a half pipe or a bowl, which if people have never tried it, it's way harder than it looks. I mean, just to get the weight transfer correct to like drop in and not eat shit is actually really hard. Like there's not, and then you were doing tricks and stuff and handstands and cartwheels, and what?
Yeah, I started ramp skating in September as like a lockdown hobby.
Yeah, so you've only been doing it for
It got to September and I was like, oh, I guess I should get a lockdown hobby.
So that's eight months about.
Yeah, on ramps. I had to learn how to skate from scratch, and I got skates like at the end of like July.
Did you have a friend that was like, you need to try this, it's fun? Or did you just randomly?
I had TikTok.
Oh. Is that like a big thing on TikTok, I guess?
Yeah, it's huge. And like the algorithm was like, you're going to like this. And I was like, oh, hey.
I do.
This is what I want to be now.
Okay, so funnily enough, in college, that was me with, I don't know if you guys ever watched tricking videos.
Tricking?
It's...
Oh, is it like where you do like the skateboard but with your fingers?
Tech decks.
No.
I'm a tech deck guy now.
It was not... That would have been cooler. So now I'm going to tell you this thing that's not as cool as finger skateboard. Well, it was like... this was like early YouTube. There was a lot of free running and tricking was like the flips of gymnastics with the kicks of karate. And so it's a lot of the people jumping around doing flips and kicks and spins and stuff. And I used to watch that stuff like mad. And then I was like, I guess I'm just going to do that. And so me and my buddy just watched YouTube videos and did it in our backyard and on campus and stuff. So I guess that sick. The new meta is TikTok videos and skating. Yeah.
And like when I saw the TikTok videos, I was like, oh, cute. I'm gonna be like a cute girl that like skates around, like, you know, like super like flowy and like listens to music, and it's just like, oh, I just skate, you know. And then like 2 months in, I was like, oh, hey, that's a 6 foot drop in. I think I'll just do that instead.
So,
but like the highest drop in I've done now is like 12.
That's pretty big. And, like, especially when you're standing on top of it.
Yeah, it's big. It's scary.
Yeah,
but like that's kind of the fun of it.
That's actually really impressive because I've skated and skateboarded, you know, way back in the day, and like I said, these things are like way harder to do than they look. And the barrier to entry is you either do it properly or you fall really hard on your ass. So
you probably break something.
Yeah.
I did that when I was learning how to drop in. I fell so bad I got like a hematoma on my thigh.
Oof.
And my entire thigh was just bruised. Like like if you check on my Instagram, I have an Instagram highlights reel called Bruises.
Oh God.
Which is just all the bruises I've got from skating, because I have a skate Instagram.
So I
which I can now plug.
I saw Troh. Get on that, brother. What's the you're gonna have to put that in the link or something.
G_sucks, and it's gonna come up here.
Okay.
Thank you, Troh.
Yeah.
Good work, Troh.
Thanks, Troh.
Troh, while you're at it, you can also post the image I just posted, where it's me ordering a 6-pack of tech decks that will be delivered on Sunday.
Also, did you really just order that, Jimmy?
Yes, I did.
Dude, I actually probably
crazy world we live in.
I used to have a bunch. I probably still, if I like went and checked out my parents' like attic or something or garage, I bet I could find them.
Oh, vintage tech decks.
Adam and I had a bunch of those.
Let's go. I'm actually gonna teach. I'm gonna teach my rats how to skateboard on the
Oh my
tech
god,
decks.
I need rat skating
love rats.
videos, Jimmy.
Yes,
Holy
dude.
shit.
I will take over TikTok with rat skating videos. It's
You
gonna be
would take
insane.
over TikTok with rat skating videos. Are
I
you
would.
kidding me?
No
I'd
one
watch
would
a
beat
rat
that.
do a 12-inch drop in.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
It's gonna be wild, dude. It's gonna look like an animated like Stuart Little out there. Like he's a mouse, but you know.
The only downside is it's funny when humans wipe out, but I feel like when rats wipe out, it's gonna be sad.
No, but they'll be excited about it, you know?
That's
They'll be-
fair. Yeah, as long as you're
Yeah.
like sufficiently motivating them with like food and
Yeah, no, rats are
Playtime.
built to be like fucking around and stuff. Like they're crazy.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah.
I think you could train a rat to tech deck. You might
Easily.
need like they might be too big for the tech decks, but you could just put one on each.
They're so smart. There's videos of rats, like people teach rats how to like take something like a food thing and dunk it in a mini basketball hoop. Like they're so
yeah,
smart.
rats are
They're-
extremely
Yeah.
smart, and
Yeah,
they're really
they're
goal oriented.
awesome.
They have.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been reading a book called Affective Neuroscience. It's by this guy named Jaak Panksepp, who's like he's like the rat guy in psychology. Because rats are actually, as like neurologically, they're pretty decent models for humans. Not terribly different. And then they're a lot easier to do in a controlled setting because humans just never do anything you ask them to do. And so he discovered that rats have like a play circuit and an ethic. So for example, if two rats are playing with each
yeah.
other and there's a bigger rat, and I think if the rat's bigger than the other one by 30% or something, or 10%, doesn't have to be too much bigger, they can win every single like wrestling match. And the big,
But they don't.
yeah, the big rat has to let the little rat win. I think it's about 30% of the time, or the little rat won't invite it to wrestle anymore. And so he
Yeah, they're
Really?
incredible.
yeah, he's discovered.
Yeah, they let them win.
Yeah, it's
so that they can keep playing.
yeah, it's just like a natural ethic in rats that they, play by these unspoken rules, because rats don't know that that's a rule.
Yeah.
They just know that if, inherently that, hey, if I don't let little rat win sometimes, he's not going to have any fun. Then I don't get to play, and then I'm not going to have any fun.
Yeah. That's funny.
But anyways, so I rats are crazy smart little like weird little animals that are little humans in rat bodies.
Yeah.
And that's
I was trying to buy some rats. but then I got a chihuahua, which is like same difference really.
yeah, just a little louder.
It's a less fun rat, honestly. It's a bigger, less fun one.
Genuinely.
Wait, are you regretting the chihuahua decision?
No, I love my chihuahua. She's so stupid.
What's her name?
Juno.
Good. Oh, I think I've seen a picture of Juno,
She's cute.
Very
She's
cute. because she was a
I had
puppy when you
a-
got her, right?
We did. Well, we got her second hand,
Okay.
but
Maybe I just thought she was
Yeah.
a puppy because she was a chihuahua.
she was 5 months, so she was
Okay,
technically
yeah,
a puppy.
yeah, so,
but
like,
she's
still looked like a baby.
second-hand dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you knew that Jimmy's been collecting rats. He started with
Collecting
he
rats.
purchased a couple, and then they just started showing up. And so now he's got like, what do you have, like 3 dozen rats, Jimmy?
4, yeah.
4. Okay.
4 dozen or 4?
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4
I
rats
just-
that I
No,
own.
you
sorry.
have to because they just live such short lives and
Don't remind me of that.
How long-
I don't
wait, how
want
long
to
do they live?
remember that. They're like 2 to 3 years, depending on.
Can they hear you?
They better fucking live 3 the way I treat them. They live so luxurious. They've got the best litter, the best food. They get fucking bananas and fruit and shit that I buy fresh from goddamn Whole Foods. They better live 4
You're
years.
buying
for
those
a-
rats.
Danny!
You're buying those rats Whole Food bananas.
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
And dried mangoes and shit, dude. Oh my god, they're the most spoiled
They're living a good
fucking
life.
things on the planet.
You
Yeah.
just like
I
described
had
my
a hamster
diet.
before my chihuahua,
You
and the hamsters don't live long, and it was really sad. My hamster got cancer, and his testicles were the size of him.
Oh my god.
Like it was like another hamster on the back.
Oh my
shit.
god. That's horrific. What?
That's
It was
terrible.
horrendous. Rest in peace, bitch lasagna.
Oh my god.
Bitch lasagna.
His name was Bitch Lasagna.
BL, my boy BL. That's awesome.
Mr. Lasagna for short. It's not much shorter.
Yeah, it's
Mr. Lasagna is
that's
longer
actually
than
longer.
bitch lasagna.
Yeah, it's much one more syllable
Extra
actually.
syllable.
Yeah, it's a whole extra
It's
syllable.
like the family-friendly name.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Yeah.
But no, bitch lasagna.
Yeah. So anyway, after Song of the Elves, were you hesitant to draw more things after that? I feel like we were getting to that.
No, but honestly, I feel like I've repressed whatever I worked on next. In between all of these things, there's like little things here and there that I did. I think that the next thing was we started working up towards the nightmare, and I made Shura.
Right. You did.
There must have been something in between.
Was she an Atlantean under a different name or something? They're the like mer people.
Sirens. So sirens aren't present in old school, but they are present in RuneScape. Mm-hmm. But I looked at them in RuneScape and I was like, they could look different. Like they could look different.
Right.
In old school. So I kind of like redesigned them for old school. So that was a fun one to do because essentially I only made one character, but I set the look for an entire race, which isn't present.
Did you do that? Wait, so there's only one siren in all of OSRS? She's the chick standing right outside the nightmare.
Yes.
Okay.
With the tentacle hair that took hours to rig.
Nice. A good touch, though. I'm sure many people appreciated the tentacle hair. And then,
literally, when I joined,
looking like further.
Mod Ghost was like, the only thing that you want to avoid is tentacles. Just don't make anything with tentacles. And then I was like, but how about hear me out now?
You're like,
it's hair.
I've been working on this hot anthropomorphic fish lady. Tentacle hair.
Hear me out. He was like, oh, just do it. But that was around the time of RuneFest. That was what I was working on when I went to RuneFest.
Oh, wow.
So that was
way back in 2019.
Yes.
That feels like
October.
The before times feels like forever ago.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that was your first. Was that your first RuneFest? Did you go to the one?
That was my first RuneFest.
Okay.
Yeah. I joined just after the previous.
Speaking of which.
That was also my first RuneFest, and I think yours too, right, Jimmy?
Yeah. Yeah. It was. All right. I said I was going to do this while you were away before we started, but I'm going to bring it up. Your one story of Mod G at RuneFest.
Oh my God, yes.
You have to confront this. Tell it first. Tell it first. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if you know this, G. We met at RuneFest.
Genuinely. Can't recall.
Good, cool. That's totally fine with me. In fact, better.
Oh no, you have to explain it because I want to recall it now. I feel bad.
I wonder if you'll remember. This was so funny to me. What was it? Probably I don't remember what day. Probably the first or maybe the second. I don't know. It was there was that room in the front where it was the chill room with, I think there was some food over there. It was carpeted and it was where everyone would go to just talk. And it wasn't.
Was it the influencers room?
No, it was
which is upstairs.
It was the foyer in the very front.
Right.
Where there was some food
I know what you mean.
Sections and stuff. I was
right. Which night?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Because there's Golden Gnomes, and then there's the final.
It wasn't the final night, I don't think. Maybe
it was the Golden Gnomes night.
Could have been fine. Kind of moot. I don't remember. I was going around meeting all the mods and then a bunch of content creators that I knew, and I I saw you and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Mod G. I'm gonna go introduce myself, and so I walked up to you and let me try and remember the interaction. I think I was like, hey, Mod G, my name's Aaron, and reached out my hand to shake your hand, and you said, hey, this is my friend so and so, and you were standing with some other girl and you pushed her in between us and then just left.
What the fuck?
And so then I was just standing there with your friend whose name I sadly don't remember. Because then I was just like, hi, I'm Aaron. It's nice to meet you. And she was like, and she was like,
she was like, rude.
Hey.
Oh my god.
And then, you know, we stood there for like 3 seconds and I was like, it's nice to meet you. And then left. That's it.
I am so rude. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I now know exactly what moment you're talking about. Like the memory isn't like particularly clear because I think I was quite drunk. But I feel like I know what you're talking
really?
about.
You
And
actually remember that?
I need to give some context to why I did that because I know why I did that.
Okay.
And like I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I didn't take
so
it personally
rude.
because I was just like, I guess
Did
something...
I kind of went off fast.
Yeah, you
right?
just straight up like pieced out. I don't know where you went.
I know why I did that.
I don't know where you went because I was like talking to this your friend. Do you remember who your friend was?
It was the first night. Yes, it was mod Dio. It must have been.
Wait, there
mod
was Dio? Which she wasn't a mod at the time, was it?
Yes.
Maybe she just wasn't wearing her mod shirt.
No, we were wearing like I was wearing like we were wearing dresses because it was the first night and we were presenting
That
awards.
was Dio? That's so... I love that because I now know Dio. Wait, that was Dio? That makes this so...
It must have been.
I hope it's Dio because that makes this so much better.
Because that's the only way that this
I
lines up with like my memory of what happened.
I have to ask Dio now. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll ask Dio too.
I mean, I could be wrong,
Sure.
but that's the only way that this lines up with like whatever
What's your excuse, G?
happened.
That was incredibly rude. What happened?
Okay,
What's the deal?
it was so rude. It was like incredibly rude. Okay, so I have to give you a bit of context, which is that I was very familiar with some creators, and like I knew who I was looking for at RuneFest, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And like the people that like I watched like a lot and like knew of were like I was looking for like Harry, Lil Smokey, like Shapurka, like these are the people that I was like familiar with.
Also, context.
I'm so sorry, but you were not on my radar like at all in 2019.
I had just started making videos, by the way. Didn't have a shirt, wasn't invited to RuneFest. Nobody knew who I was.
Right.
I was just
that still gives me
no
no excuse to be as like abysmally rude as I was, like horrendous. However, let me give you the backstory of like what happened that night. So obviously it was like a very like whirlwindy thing. I wasn't wearing a mod shirt, but everybody knew who I was because I had like the pink hair and I was like the kind of new mod still, even though I'd been there like a year, whatever. And like people were buying me drinks. So number one, I was like fairly tips. And then I was being, when I say bombarded by just, I don't want to say boys, but boys.
Okay,
like, can I get a photo? Like, I need to meet you. Like, let's have this conversation. Like, it was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. It was literally like,
I think we talked about this on a previous podcast, and that's what I said. I was like, I think she must have just been like, approached all day long and was just like out of there. And so
I paid $1,200 for a plane ticket to meet you. Take a picture with me.
No. I wish, oh god, I was, and like, again, this is still no excuse because I still should have been nice.
No,
but what had happened just before.
Not to this guy.
God, I feel so bad.
That's actually
because I was trying and I was like, I was frazzled, but I was still like very much like trying. And I was trying to have a conversation with like my friend that I work with who was in a mod shirt, definitely.
Was that Dio?
No, this is a different mod who since doesn't work there. I don't think she had a mod name. She. So we were having a conversation and like I was still, getting like a lot of people. And so I was sort of like, because they were coming up solo and asking me for pictures, I was asking her, can you take a picture? Can you take the picture? Like, because they were going, can you take the picture? So like, she was kind of like this photographer all of a sudden, and like I thought it was cool, and then like I had like Dio come up and be like, you know, this girl, like you've just been treating her as a photographer for like all night, and like she's really upset. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I felt so bad because this is like my friend, and I didn't want to do that. Like I felt like so frazzled already, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I felt so bad. And I'm pretty sure it was at that exact moment that you came over.
That's so funny. Okay, I think we talked about this. Maybe was it the Jilly podcast? Jimmy, do you remember?
I don't remember.
Whatever the case may be.
I watched the Jilly podcast, and I know it.
Maybe it was a different podcast then. Because I think I've talked about this before. I figured that was the case. I was like, yeah, that was weird. And I'm sure she just has probably been bothered all evening, so it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
It was like I had to go and find my friend to like apologize, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to go and like say sorry right now, like right now. I like booked it.
I really hope that was Dio, because that just makes that so much better. That
I think it must have been. It literally must have been.
So did you apologize to your friend? Was everything okay after that?
It turned out that it was fine. It turned out that like she didn't actually think that, and it was like a bit of a misunderstanding anyway. But like, you know, when you're like a bit drunk and like someone's like they're upset with you, and suddenly it's like the entire world is just like laser focused into like, no, I'm sorry.
I think drunk Aaron is the opposite of that. Drunk Aaron's like
someone's upset with you,
and I'm like, they probably should be. That's like,
that's good. That's fine.
Awesome.
What I do.
Oh, that's so funny.
Damn.
You know what's like one of the craziest things is like after that RuneFest, I was very much expecting like my Twitter to just start, you know, pinging off with all of these photos that I'd be tagged in, because I took hundreds of photos. Like it must have been hundreds. So many photos, and like nothing. Nothing showed up. No one posted anything, and I was like, where are all these photos? They're just on these guys' phones. Like, like no one posted their pictures with me. Nobody. Except for one cosplayer.
I don't know if this is a guy thing, but I don't ever post like, first of all, I rarely take photos.
Keep it?
But even when I take photos, I usually just, I don't post many to social media at all. I have to force myself to do that and be like, I should post something. It's been like a year, I think. I don't know.
Isn't your pinned tweet right now you with an axe or something that you
chainsaw? Chainsaw.
Oh, it's a chainsaw. Okay.
Yeah, I was up in Colorado. My family has some property up there, and I absolutely love it up there, and I love chainsaw and stuff. It's like, working with your hands is so much more rewarding than not. I mean, I love doing creative work, but there's being able to also do some manual labor is. I'll be sneaking up there again at the beginning of July for about a week.
Nice.
What do you do with the tree when you chop it, when you chainsaw it down? What's your next step?
With the tree?
So you chainsaw the tree, right?
Gotta chop it into firewood.
So it falls down.
Yeah.
Log it.
So most of the time,
put it in a log.
If we're up there cutting trees, it's for two reasons. One, it fell on a fence line, and so we chop it up, get it off the fence line, then fix the fence. Or two, it fell across the road, and so we chop it up, we get it off the road. Aspen trees most of these trees are aspen trees. They're a really strange tree. They grow in groves, and I think an aspen tree is the largest single organism on the planet, because you'll see thousands of aspen trees in a grove, but really they're all one organism. They're all connected by the roots, and the way that they grow, their strategy is they put up hundreds or thousands of little aspens, so you'll see them growing up in these tiny, like pencil thin and really dense, and then as they grow, the ones that grow the tallest and get the most sunlight, the other ones die off, and that continues up through their whole like 100 or 150 year life cycle. So if you go to an aspen forest, there's for every one tree standing, there's 2 or 3 on the ground. And so if we're cutting aspens out there, we just leave them on the ground. It's part of the, like state of things out there. And some of them we'll clean up and throw in a chipper and, we do some other like land management to kind of take care of it. But most of the time you just chop it up and leave it on the side of the road. We have so much firewood up there, you wouldn't believe. So we don't need any more firewood.
See, when I saw that picture, I just pictured like you taking the chainsaw and just blowing off steam, running through, like going to the very where the edge of the forest starts, chopping them down, moving on to the next one, just leaving a trace of just a bunch of fallen trees.
Cathartic. I will say a couple years back when we were putting in some new fence lines, and you'd mark them out, and then you'd walk the fence line and clear it. That was like we were cutting a lot of trees.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Also, it's such a powerful, like those trees are huge. And so when you finally cut one down and it's fallen, you yell timber and it just boom. It's pretty fun.
Anyone who's ever gotten hit by a fallen tree is pathetic.
They're dead also. So
they're dead.
That's a terrible thing to say about
that. It takes so long for it to tip.
Pathetic.
How do you not predict where that thing's fallen in that time, dude?
There was a big windstorm one of the nights we were up there, and I saw a tree actually fall in the forest, and that sucker came down like, whoa. It was, if you're not watching for it, there's a good chance you just get smashed. It was fast. I saw that and I was like, I don't feel so safe in the woods. That was like
fuck the bears. It's the trees you gotta worry about.
Yeah, we did also see a bear, a mama with 2 cubs.
Ooh, scary.
It was from enough distance that it was, we have black bears up there and they're not that big, and black bears are very skittish, so they wanted nothing to do with us, thankfully, because I was happy to see them from far away, and that's all. But yeah, it was the trees, man. They're scarier than the bears. G, do you have like RuneScape goodies and such, like the kind of stuff that they sold in their store?
I have so many goodies. I don't think I have anything that's specifically sold in the store. I'm just like
these.
looking around.
Like,
to get everything on hand.
We got sent those fancy socks in like a content creator, care
We're just
package.
critiquing
I like
them.
those. I don't have those. I like them though. What do I have? I have like a USB speaker, which is a kind of random one. I always have like a hoodie, like a bunch of t-shirts.
I want them to make.
I think I have like a charger.
I want them to make those Max Cape, like 99 Cape hoodies so bad. Have you guys seen those designs on Twitter and such?
Are they like proper designs or fan designs?
They're fan designs that they did of the basically all the 99 capes in hoodie style, and they look so cool. They're so good. I would buy the shit out of those, and you could sell them for like $65.
Man.
You're not maxed. You can't.
Not the max, no, but the 99 capes, dude.
Oh, the 99.
And I would never buy one that I didn't have a 99 for. That would feel like some serious imposter syndrome.
Yeah. My buddy Helwind, he's got a Max Cape tattoo. And so he was maxed on RS3. And then he started playing old school. So I'm like, well, now you have to max on old school because it's literally on your body. So you're kind of obligated.
That's
I don't think
funny.
he's maxed yet. I don't.
How many RuneScape tattoos do you have, G?
I don't have any tattoos. Not a single tattoo.
Why do you look so
I feel
surprised?
like people are surprised by that of me. Have you guys got tattoos?
No. I would. I just. My thing is just.
That's interesting.
Like you have to go out of your way. You got to make a appointment, especially in Austin. Here, everyone's so sought after that it's a lot of work and a lot of money to get a tattoo. So the natural state is like, I would like one, but a lot of money and effort to make it happen. So
my uncle
it's easier
does
not to.
My uncle does tattoos in Fort Worth, Dallas area, and I've wanted to get a tattoo of like a certain thing for years now. And every time I bring it up, he's like, yeah, we can do it. Let's do it. I'm free in like 5 months. And I'm like, oh,
Ooh, it's too far ahead.
Okay, because Texas tattoo artists are like no joke. People come to Texas to get these Texas tattoo artists. I feel like Texas is the tattoo state. So I don't know.
I feel like that's France in Europe.
Yeah.
Is it?
Or even London, maybe. People go to Paris for tattoos.
I could see that.
I don't know too much about tattooing, but I know that people do go to Paris.
Also,
for
did
tattoos.
what? I'm assuming that you just put chapstick on.
Oh yeah, it's like
That is some
I'm really
deodorant
hot, like,
looking. That is some.
It does look like deodorant, hey?
That is some
I got it.
sweaty lips. Look
I'm gonna
like
put
I
my
would
chapstick on
accidentally-
real quick.
I would. Wait, Jimmy has deo edit.
It looks the fucking
I'm not
same.
gonna put this on my lips. I'd
Oh
probably
my
smell
God.
good, but taste awful probably. I don't know. I'm not
Oh
gonna
my
risk that.
god.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, hold on. This is what I was gonna say before we took a break. You worked at Jagex, and that's past tense. That's like a thing that happened.
Yes.
You're no
Yeah,
longer
yeah,
working
yeah.
for Jagex now.
No, I probably wouldn't have done this if I was.
Right. And I don't know how like touchy the subject is, but like we'll start with this. There has
hell
been
is
a
it?
string for like the longest time of JMods just kind of like I gotta go just slowly. Now are
Peacing out.
peacing out. Are most of them voluntary piecing out, or is it like a hey, you've got like 2 weeks to peace out, man?
I'm gonna say that most of them are voluntary.
Okay, most.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I can't really talk about.
Yeah,
this.
I know. That's why I'm like, you don't have to answer this, but just a
Most
question.
of them are voluntary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
why
mean, the
I
games
figured.
industry is a very, very fast-moving industry.
Right.
Like, it's kind of uncommon to stay at the same place for more than 3 years. Like, that's very uncommon. So Jagex actually does have incredible longevity. If you look at a lot of members of staff, like, I'm pretty sure West has been there for like 6 years now. I mean, Mod Azure's been there for like however long it's
His whole
existed.
life since he was born, just making RuneScape content.
He's the
Yeah.
one person that I didn't even approach at RuneFest because I was.
Oh, he's so intimidated.
I was just starstruck. I was like, nah, he's.
Have I told the story of
He's cool.
me and Kevin running into him on the street? Like when we
Wait,
first got
where?
there. Like when we first
Oh,
got
in
to
Farnborough?
RuneFest. Yeah. We ran
Farnborough.
into like our first hour there. We took a walk. I don't even remember. I think we were walking down from the hotel to like the bar everyone was going to. And on
Yeah.
our way back, we were going and we just see this guy like rolling a suitcase behind him. And as he gets closer, we're like, is that Ash? And sure enough, he gets closer, and me and Kevin find ourselves just crossing paths with Mod Ash like
You
in the
said
middle
hello,
of
right?
nowhere. Yeah, he's by himself, just walking on the sidewalk, and we're like, Mod Ash, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, I'm not even gonna try to do a British accent first and foremost.
I was
Please, I
hoping
was
you would.
actually
I was
really
hoping you
bracing
would.
I'm not
it.
gonna do it. I'm not gonna
I
do
was
it.
like, I'm ready.
He also
I-
is such an articulate,
yeah.
punctual way
Yeah.
of speaking.
I'm gonna
Very
try not to
Cambridge.
do like quotes for him. I'll say what happened, but basically he told us that he was going to check into another hotel because he didn't get his own room, and he's had a very bad experience at RuneFest prior to this one with a bad roommate puking in his room. So he was going to check into a different hotel room so he could stay by himself because he was not dealing with any bullshit. And we're like,
my
I respect that. That is some boss shit right there, dude.
That's
like
so funny.
you deserve
I
it,
love it.
King. Fucking go book a penthouse suite for yourself, dude. Yeah.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I remember because Kevin had gone to like quite a few RuneFest. That was like his third or fourth, maybe. I don't even know. And he's met Mod Ash a ton of times, but Mod Ash only remembers things that Mod Ash needs to remember. And Kevin is unfortunately not one of those things. So Kevin was like under the impression that Mod Ash remembered him. So he's like talking to him like, oh yeah, he's like, Mod Ash is like, are you here for RuneFest? And then Kevin's like, yeah, and I think Kevin was wearing his like creator shirt or something.
It says,
And he's like, yeah,
I am framed on the
I'm
front.
like, I'm a content creator, Ash. Like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay, cool. And he's just like, all right, well, I'll be off now. And just fucking
oh my God.
I was like, wow, that just happened. It was like the most
man.
weird pop-up incident of running into Mod Ash ever. And we're like, that's a great way to start this weekend. Good
That's
stuff.
so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that is another off-topic thing. But
I have like an ex-boyfriend who, when I started working at Jagex, like sort of popped up and sent me a message. And this is like, you know, teenager, like high school boyfriend. He like popped up and sent me a message, and he was like on my bucket list, I have Noah J-Mod. And
That's so good.
you have ticked that off my bucket list.
That's so
and I was
funny.
like, yeah.
I just replied, who is this?
New number.
New phone.
Who did?
Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff.
No, he's very sweet. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. But how did you find like this new opportunity? Like
Mediatonic. Yeah, did you like
Oh yeah.
did you
So was
seek
this, like,
out?
yeah, were you planning this? Was this
I think it's like so. No, I was not planning on leaving. I really like working on old school RuneScape. It's a fun game. I had like a lot of responsibility. I really liked all the work that I did. Like the last thing that I properly did was like Tempoross, and that's something that I drew in September. Like I drew it and it got added to like a pile. Oh, not even September, like probably like June or something, because it got added to like a pile of like things we might make. And then like some people looked at it and they were like, maybe we should make this.
Did you
and it was,
did
like,
you draw
me
the
and Mod
actual
Acorn,
Tempoross?
like the boss Tempoross? So me and Acorn were working on something, and she was like, how about like a fishing boss? And she was like, you know, kind of like a merman situation. And I was like, oh, maybe like if it's like made of water and then like you fish the boss, kind of something like that. And like we were kind of working on it together, and like I drew it up and it like got basically added to like a pile of stuff. And some people were like, oh, that looks cool. And so that went from, you know, like September, someone going, that looks cool, to like February it was released. And like that's the last thing that I did like properly. So it was great. Like it was great. Like I got to like, who gets to make their own ideas in like the video games industry? Like that doesn't happen. But yeah, the Mediatonic reached out to me.
Oh really?
Through like their recruitment process, and they were like, would you be interested in like this position, which was a step up from the position that I was in at Jagex? And I was like, at first I was like, oh, I'll just like see where this goes, you know, like I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah.
So I'll just like see, because I was thinking like I don't have the skills for this, like it's not really what I do now, so I'm not sure if they would like trust me. So I ended up just going through the process just as like kind of an experience, and then at the end of the process they were like, well, do you want the job? And I was like, yeah, okay.
So what is your position now at are you you're a 3D artist at Mediatonic?
So I'm a character artist. I am a mid-level character artist.
Okay,
So
cool.
you get junior, which is what I was at Jagex, and now I am a mid-level character artist. So
And then senior
you know, like,
eventually.
and then you get senior, lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
what have you done over there with stuff? I mean, I know it's pretty new, but like, are you drawing like the outfits for these guys? Because I remember I played for like a second when it was like the craze.
You should play now. It's so good. It's so good. Like there's squads now, so you can play like with your friends and not get split up, and you have to kind of like work collaboratively to get through. So if someone like drops off, the rest of the team can like pick up the slack, and you can all get through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like, it's very me. Like I'm very like, I like cutesy things, and I like brightly colored things, and I like kind of like vinyl toys and kids games to a certain extent. Like it's not a kids game, but do you know what I mean? It kind of looks like a kids game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I make the costumes, and so far I've worked on like 3 costumes. It's been like a month, but I've worked on like 3 costumes, which will probably be released in like several months.
Yeah. Is it nice
But,
working
yeah.
in Unity as opposed to what was the engine in
Jagged.
Or
Jagged?
Jagged and like world. What's it called? Like what? They didn't actually at Jagex. They let me touch the world builder, which is like the map editor thing. Map editor. They let me touch that one time, and something bad happened. And then they never let me touch it again.
What did you do? What did you do? Please say what you did. Please say what you did.
Gee, we have to know.
We have to know.
Unless it's proprietary, then we don't have to know. Unless it's proprietary, but we can just strike it from the podcast.
Okay, I'll say what it is, and then Troh bleeps it.
Okay.
And then you guys can keep your reaction.
Okay, what?
Okay.
No way! Are you kidding me? Wait, are you actually kidding me?
That was you?
Wait, what?
And they never let me touch it again.
Oh my god! I have so many things. We actually can't talk about that.
Yeah. We can't talk about it.
We actually can't talk about that. Huh. Damn, well, I guess we better now not talk about that.
We should get back to the bit that we can talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys missed it. It was so good.
God.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that was a good.
It's actually 2 hours later. I'm on my fourth cup of
nighttime.
coffee and she is lit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how are you liking it over there at the Fall Guys?
Mediatonic land.
Yeah. Like one of the things that I really, really liked about Jagex was like they had core values.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that like if you just look at the Jagex website, you'll see the core values on their website. So I kind of always told myself that I wouldn't leave Jagex for a company that didn't have core values because it makes a difference. Makes a difference to the culture, makes a difference to like the type of people they attract. And like Jagex has amazing people. Like the people that work there are the best. Like I've made really good friends working there. So, you know, when I was in the Mediatonic interview, I was sort of quizzing them, like, what's your culture? Like, you know, what are your values? Like, how do you guys, you know, interact with your players, for example? Because I'm very used to open dialogue with players. And that's something that I will always now look for. And so, you know, the Fall Guys social media accounts are quite famous for really cool dialogue with players. And I was like, yeah, that's a bit of me. So it just was like the right company reaching out with the right job at the right time. And like, it was a shame to leave. I loved working there, but now I don't.
Yeah. Nice.
That's how the games industry is.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think especially in an industry like that, not taking opportunities that are given to you is a big mistake. Because it's like you
especially because it was a jump up.
Yeah, and people rarely end up where they thought they were going to end up. Like you hardly plan out your path through that industry. It's usually just something pops up and you show up and do a good job, and then boom, you're working on like the next thing.
Yeah. That's kind of exactly how it goes. And 2.5 years is like a pretty good stint.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
It is.
I had a good time.
that's
So
longer
what-
than I worked at either of the game studios, and longer than most of the people that worked at those studios.
Yeah, it felt long. Like, I went from being... I mean, I was 21 when I joined, and I was 24 when I left. So that feels like a, you know,
Yeah.
a good chunk of my 20s.
Yeah, it's a long time. So are you missing it over? Are you missing the old stuff, or are you just like, fuck yeah, this is way
like,
cooler?
I miss the team. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my god. At the point that I left, the team was so good. Like, the art team was like amazing.
Who are you working
we
with
had
most closely?
So the people that I was like working with every day were Mod West, Mod Rye, Mod Brow, and Mod Grub.
Cool.
Brow? No, is he Mod Brow? Yeah, I think he's Mod Brow.
I guess you just know
Yeah.
his actual name.
Yeah,
And
it's
you're
his
like, I don't
actual
know
name. Yeah, but like I remember because Mod Brow, if I'm getting the mod name correctly, I think I am. Just go with it. He started in like during the pandemic, so like I didn't meet him until when everyone knew I was going away, and they were like, "Oh, you know, come to Cambridge, like come and hang out and like say goodbye." And so that was the first time I met him. Was essentially saying goodbye.
So
Damn.
did you ever, since the lockdown, did you ever go back to some kind of like occasional meetings in the office, or are you pretty much never going to Cambridge?
No, I didn't go back at all. Like I went back to like collect some stuff. In fact, Mod Brow still has like all my things from my desk because he collected them for me, and like he has them in his house, and I need to go and get them.
That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, there was like, oh, the team was so good, so good.
How big is
I miss them.
How big is Cambridge, by the way?
Small.
Okay.
Small.
So did you?
Like,
You said you grew up and went to school in Cambridge?
yes, so I went to boarding school in the south of Cambridge, and then Jagex is like right on the north of the city, like the tippy top.
Okay.
And where my parents lived, because my parents still had like a house there, and then like midweek, some nights I would stay at theirs to like cut my commutes down, and they live sort of like just south of the boarding school even. And so when I stayed at my parents' house, because I do not drive in Cambridge. Like, you do not drive in Cambridge. Like, it's just not a thing. Like, it's not worth doing. Like, the roads are, like, barely one car wide. So I would keep a bike at Jagex, and so I would cycle from the north of Cambridge to, like, my parents' house, and in the morning, I would get up from my parents' house and cycle back to Jagex. And that's, like, a 25, 30-minute cycle.
Wow, that's a good bit.
Yeah. I was so fit. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I had like my free gym membership. I was going to the gym like 2 or 3 times a week. I was cycling like this 30-minute cycle like multiple times
like
a week.
really
And
good
now I'm
commute.
just like a little gremlin of chair
Little
life.
shrimp pose, just
Yeah. So now, I mean, you still don't have to have a commute at all, right? You're just.
Nah.
I don't even know where is
Well,
this...
if I did have to commute, it would take me like 15 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause
Oh.
it's in London and I live near a tube station, so.
I didn't know they were based out of there. I had no idea where they were based out of, but
Jimmy,
Hey.
did you
They have studios in the Midlands and Madrid as well.
wow.
Jimmy, did you come to London the day
I didn't
that
make it to
we-
London.
I didn't think
don't
so.
Yeah.
I went with a couple dudes when we were there for RuneFest in
Nice.
Farnborough. We took a day in London. It's pretty cool.
Is that the day after?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I was texting some people and I was gonna go, but like I was so hungover.
Well, so
That I didn't
a couple
go.
of the dudes were still pretty hungover. So you know, there were a couple of us stumbling around. Not myself, but a couple of them stumbling around London. We went to Buckingham Palace. We went to
Nice.
what the big old park
London
next
Eye?
to it.
Yeah.
Next to the palace. I don't know. That was pretty fun. I like parks.
Hyde Park?
Maybe.
No, that's quite.
I don't know.
Regent's Park?
Maybe. I don't remember the name.
There's so many parks.
Yeah, I don't know. We only bounced around a couple different places in London. We had some ramen, I think. Went to like a Japanese sushi bar and got some ramen and sushi. It's a good time.
Oof.
I remember being so.
Well, if you come to London, let me know because I know all the places to eat.
Yeah. What kind of have you always wanted to live in London? Was that like, I'm gonna leave this place, I'm gonna head to London, or was it just did you just end up in
I
London?
just moved here like for fun. I think I was like, that looks fun. I went to uni near London.
Okay.
And like we would take trips to London, and so it was like a very natural step to be like, oh, let's just live in London. But I had no job, so I worked in like a grocery store, and I also but like part-time, and then the rest of my life I was working as a runner, if you know what a runner is. It's like somebody who works on like film and TV sets.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
You're like the bottom of the rung, so I would like go and like fetch things
Yep.
and you do like the bitch work essentially.
Yeah,
We're hungry.
So I did that.
Yeah,
Go get us
student-
coffee.
Yeah, You have to make sure everyone has lunch and coffee
Yeah.
and like all of the papers are where they need to be. And yeah, no, I worked on a lot of short films as well. Like the people that I live with, we're like a filmmaking group and we make a lot of short films.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons we moved in together, because we were having trouble finding places to shoot. And then we found this like massive fuck off Edwardian house, and we were like, well, if we all live in there together, we can just make films there.
Cool. Are y'all a bit of property, or how, or is it just like, are you
Nah,
stacked
we
next to that?
rent.
Well, I mean, is it on a bit of land, or are you like stacked in like the city?
Oh. Edwardian house means nothing to you people, for you did not have the Edwardian days.
No.
Okay.
I'm Googling Edwardian
Yeah,
house,
like,
London. Oh.
Yeah. Like whatever comes up, like that's it.
Oh, I see.
So you live in we live on a crescent. So it's like a huge crescent of like houses.
So y'all are
and they're
stacked
really,
side
really
to side,
tall.
and they're just these big old
Yes.
kind of Edwardian houses.
Yeah,
I
so it's
see.
5 stories,
I
this
see.
house.
Wow.
5 stories?
It's 5 stories.
What?
Yeah.
Is it like 3?
Because the house is like, it goes like this.
Interesting.
And you're at
It's
the
old.
top.
It's really old. Yeah, I'm literally in the attic, so I'm
Oh
in
my
the servants'
god.
quarters.
You're like was it Sleeping Beauty or Cinder? I don't know. Probably all of them lived in the attic. I don't know.
like-
That's pretty.
Or the basement. There was like no in between.
Yeah,
To the
that's,
top or the
that's like
bottom.
cliche princess. I live in the attic. or
Yeah,
the
somewhere
basement.
no one
I
can
think
find
Princess
me.
in the Attic is literally what
Yep,
literally
that's actually I
born.
think a thing. Yeah. Yeah, because if you got
Yeah.
slanted ceilings, you're up there. Do you have a good view outside the
Yep.
window?
So no, but I'm really high up. But the room on the other side, so like on the other side of the wall, there's like another room
Mm-hmm.
that's like the other half of the attic, and out of their window you can see the entire skyline of London, as
Wow.
in like you can see the whole thing, and it's beautiful because we live on top of a hill as well,
Nice.
so it's like silhouetted.
Why didn't
Yeah,
you didn't
it's
get
so
that
nice.
room? That wasn't. You won
This
that.
room's bigger.
Oh, okay. All right, I get that.
She
That's
just
fair.
Googles
Yeah.
London skyline and puts it on her second monitor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works. Good stuff. Well, we're hitting around the 2-hour mark. So
Yeah.
what else are we missing? Stuff we want to talk about?
Any burning questions either of you two have?
You just ask me all the questions that you're not supposed to ask me, and then we'll just go crazy.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
like the After Dark episode.
The one you gotta pay for.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. Well, we won't expose any of the crazy ones we already asked.
I can't believe that
Yeah, I
you
can't believe
did
that.
what you did.
Yeah. That's insane.
That's incredible. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe you did it on
I'm an
purpose too.
idiot.
That's so, man.
This is like you got your title like
Yeah.
Modgy Exposed.
Yeah. Shit.
So
Yeah,
what's
ex Modgy, hey?
what's your next strange hobby after skating and stuff like that? Any other
Ooh.
strange adventures?
Tech deck time.
Well, I've been making my own clothes for a while.
Okay.
That's on my Instagram as
Jill
well.
actually told
Go
me
check
that
out.
because she said she bought a sewing kit because she was inspired by you.
Aw, that's so. I literally love Jilly. She's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I was chatting to her about that. Yeah, so I've been making my own clothes. I have like loads of like random hobbies.
Did you make any of the
Like, I was just
clothes
thinking that-
you're wearing?
Oh, nothing I'm wearing. Oh, this is a fun thing. Since the start of 2021, I have bought 0 clothing new. So I'm going completely eco-friendly with my clothing.
Okay.
So I'm either making it or getting it secondhand.
When you make clothes, are you taking bolts of cloth and making clothes, or are you like taking other pieces and then tailoring them and changing some stuff, or both?
So kind of the fun thing that I've been doing is buying like humongous suits, like huge suits, and then taking them apart and retailer and like essentially remaking the clothes to like fit me, which is fun.
That's pretty cool.
I've made a couple of things from scratch, like tops and skirts and stuff. Yeah. I was thinking about this is like a fun fact. If you want like a fun fact, in 2018, me and my housemates like hired a boat, like a sailboat, and we tried to sail from Spain to France.
Tried?
We didn't make it.
How far?
As in, like, the boat sank, or like we're like, you know what, this is gonna be a long trip. Let's turn around.
It was like really windy, but in like the wrong direction.
Oh my god.
That'll do it.
How long of a trip is it if the wind is in your sails?
Well, we should have been able to do it within like 8 days, as in there and back, but we didn't.
You said you
Damn.
bought a boat?
No, we just
rented.
like hired a boat from some
Oh,
guy.
I
Like
see.
none of us knew how to sail. Like my housemate had like one friend who like knew how to sail, and he brought him along, and like that guy was shouting at us in like Catalan, trying to teach us how to sail.
Okay, because I've sailed before, and it's a very hands-on process. Like,
Yeah.
One guy who kind of knows how to sail, sailing into the wind, it sounds like
That sucks.
good luck.
It was fun.
I mean,
it was
I bet
like a
it
good
was, yeah.
time.
The only spontaneous water voyage I ever took, it was in College Station. It's where Texas A&M is, and we had storms for days, like massive storms, and everything was flooding. And the waterways that eventually met up with, I believe it's the Colorado River, I'm not entirely sure, that run through Bryan College Station, were all flooded. And so we searched, me and my roommates, there were 4 of us, searched probably from about like 4 in the afternoon up until like 10 o'clock at night, trying to find someone with a canoe or a kayak, or if we could buy one at an academy or some sporting goods store. Couldn't find one. But what we did find were 2 blow-up mattresses at Target. And so we got blow-up mattresses, got our backpacks and a bunch of gear, and then we couldn't find paddles, but we used PVC pipe that if you have a long enough pole and you can just stick it far enough in the water that you actually paddle quite well. And then they were long enough.
That's punting.
Yep, and it was long enough poles as well that we could kind of like push off of stuff. And so we hiked down to these creeks behind, in the back of our neighborhood, cast out on our 2 different air mattresses. There were two on each. Our house was on Lazy Lane, so we called it Lazy House, and so we named our ship the SS Lazy, because it's French, so you know it's like fancy. And we just like
HMS, yeah.
and we just set sail, and it worked miraculously. Those things worked like a charm. The storm was very dangerous, and the water was moving very fast. We actually had, like, once we exited the concrete waterways and got into just like open riverbanks, there was one point where we saw probably like a 50-foot oak tree just kind of slough off into the river and get carried downstream. And we were like, we should probably like get out of the water. So it was about 3 a.m. at this point. We sailed for 4 hours maybe. And we hiked up under a highway overpass, like a bridge that was crossing the waterway. And when we...
With your mattresses?
Yeah, with our mattresses, we pulled them out of the water and got all of our gear out, and then started texting people because it's a college town, 3 a.m, someone's got to be awake. We started texting people seeing if they could come pick us up. Because obviously we didn't plan ahead, you know. You don't plan ahead on an adventure like that. It was just kind of flying by the seat of your pants.
Way.
By the time we had texted everybody on our list, we had about 6 feet between where our feet were at the water's edge, between the bottom of the bridge. The water had risen enough that we just had to leave. There was no more room under the bridge. But miraculously, one of my friends came and picked us up in her car, and she brought towels and snacks. So then she came and picked us up. We were like, this is awesome. So
It's a good friend.
Like 3 a.m, picked us up off the highway and brought us food and got us dry.
Oh, that's so crazy. That's such a fun story.
Yeah.
Wow.
It went so much better than we really had low expectations for these mattresses, but they were, you know.
It sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. Like it sounds
It
like it should
probably
not
was.
work.
We capsized twice. One of them was I I don't know if it was sewage or electrical lines, but they have those big concrete culverts the pipes that cross, and the water was all the way up to like rushing underneath one of them. So we just had to bail and go underwater.
Oh my god.
But everything, it was probably stupid and dangerous in hindsight, but everything turned out fine. I only lost my buddy Miles was my raft mate, and he got thrown off once and had to like hold onto a tree branch on the side of the water while I like paddled over to him. It was like, Miles, get over here. But it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
This is mental. That's actually so dumb.
It was.
You're an idiot.
It was perfectly stupid.
You sound like the kind of guy that would definitely ignore a RuneFest. Like,
Yeah.
That would what?
you sound like the kind of guy who would definitely ignore at RuneFest.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
No, that's lit. That's sick.
I'm glad.
That's so
Wow.
cool.
I'm just so tickled by that story, getting to hear your end of it.
There's context.
And then that's the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna message Dio and be like, oh my gosh, was this you?
Was it
Do you
you?
remember this? Because that'll be so much better. I remember it was.
I want to know if it was her as well. I have to send her a message.
How old is Dio? She's like your age, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember.
Well, we the funny thing about Dio is she grew up in Cambridge as well, and we went to Girl Guides together.
I don't know what that is.
And we didn't. Girl Guides is like scouts for girls.
Okay.
And we didn't know until we were working at Jagex together, and we realized that we went to the same Girl Guides, and we were like, oh my gosh.
So did you not know each other in Girl Guides? I guess you're different.
Neither of us
troops
could
or
like.
something?
Yeah, we were like different troops, but we were the same. Well, we were the same troop, but we must have been just like in different groups all the time.
Okay.
But we were like, oh my god, that's so weird. Like we were in the same troop. Like it was really weird.
That's funny.
We just never knew each other.
Yeah, there's a good chance it was Dio because I remember it was another. I didn't know she
If
was
they
a mod,
weren't
but
wearing
she
a
was
green shirt, then it was Dio.
like, she was like your age, and she wasn't wearing a green shirt.
No.
Or
was she wearing a dress as well?
I don't know. I didn't know she was a mod, or because I just remember I was specifically going around trying to meet all the mods, or I would have probably walked up and introduced myself
Near
to Dio.
the merch area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so funny. Okay, well,
I'm so sorry. That's like unforgivably rude. Like, oh shit, I'd be so mad if someone did that to me. I'm so sorry.
it was honestly just so surprising that I was like, that's probably there's got to be context here. It was more
I'm so
funny
glad we
than
talked
anything.
about that because I've been waiting for this to happen for so long, ever since you told that story for the first time.
Yeah.
I was like, we got to ask about it one
So
day. We have to bring it up. And we finally
Oh my
know.
God.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I'm gonna be so careful from now on. I can never.
We have such
ever
great
do that
memories
to
together.
anyone.
We have such great memories together, G. All right, well, we should end this thing. We're closing on 2 hours. I know Troh's gonna have to edit about an hour and a half of that out.
I'm sorry, Troh.
I'm not sorry, Troh. I'm not sorry at all.
All right, well, thanks, G. It was a pleasure.
And now the podcast is it's over.